Hi, I'm Joe Shamir, Manager of Entrepreneurship here at Mount Sinai Innovation Partners, the commercialization arm of the Mount Sinai Health System, where we focus on translating our researchers and clinicians' technologies into real-world applications for our patients and society to use as a whole. Today I'll be talking a little bit about how our pitch challenge that we're going to be launching in May 2020 is going to be work synergistically with that of this accelerator program at the Combine and others within the greater New York City area. So today I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview of emerging technologies in healthcare at Mount Sinai Health System. Again, my name is Joe Shamir. I'm the Manager of Entrepreneurship here at Mount Sinai Innovation Partners. So just to give you guys a little bit of an introduction, MSIP, our mission is to basically take technologies, inventions, discoveries out of the hospital system and translate them to real-world applications into products that our patients and society can use as a whole. We are at the intersection of that translation between the School of Medicine and the hospital to existing or new companies. We help our founders and inventors, everything from evaluating the technology, patenting the technology, marketing the technology to third parties, licensing and partnering, and even coaching and training our entrepreneurs and inventors on best practices in product development and startup creation. Another end of our I would say our mission is also outreach. So we reach out as well to externals within the greater New York City area, including accelerators like Media Lab, and that's part of our goal is this year to actually get a little bit more involved in the emerging technologies, I would say startup ecosystem, specifically with accelerator programs like that. This year we will be having a workshop at their summit. We're going to be having an additional workshop in November with them, and we hope that everyone also comes to our hackathon, which I'll speak about in a couple minutes. So our office has I would say, a rich history of licensing diverse technologies to large existing companies, everything from therapeutics and diagnostics to medical devices, research reagents, and digital therapeutics and IT. Now, some of those require emerging technologies. Others are more traditional healthcare and biotechnologies. But again, the depth of our expertise runs pretty deep. If we don't end up licensing to an existing company, a lot of times we'll take the technology or asset and create a venture around it. These are an example of 6 within, I would say, the last year and a half, 2 years, some before being probably even older than that, that we've launched out of our office and Mount Sinai as a whole. Renalytics AI and Hypercell are probably the most recent. Renalytics last summer launched with an over $20 million Series A, and Hypercell with last February with over a $60 million Series A. Renalytics actually leverages artificial intelligence to diagnose and prognosticate renal disease and kidney disease in patients, and Hypercell actually focuses on creating therapeutics for cancer that are based in cancer metastases. RxHealth also uses digital applications, and Semaphore leverages big data also for patient genomics, etc. Monogram and Amethyst are more traditional biotechnologies, Amethyst being in the therapeutic space, and Monogram being a biotechnology that leverages imaging for custom-made implants for like hip replacements. Now, where many of you on the line might be more interested is our emerging startups. Basically, assets that are a little bit younger and that would require incubator and accelerator kind of input in order to kind of move along. Today you'll be hearing a little bit more from Retina Technologies, but we have others that actually went through our hackathon, like Walkthrough and Demeter. Walkthrough being a device and Demeter actually being a digital app leveraging machine learning. And then we have another one from last year that actually was in our pitch challenge called Metascribe that used machine learning to help create an app for doctors to decrease physician burnout. Microprint and Lab 11 Therapeutics, again, were more traditional healthcare and biotechnologies, one being a surgical device, and Lab 11 Therapeutics trying to solve and put together a therapeutic for influenza. Now, the commonality between all these emerging startups is that they leveraged and highly used our innovation partners programming here at Mount Sinai, and all entered into our business development pipeline. which really is I would say, a highly focused pipeline, basically evaluating the technology both from the commercial point of view, technological point of view, intellectual property, and scientific points of view. So it's really a full evaluation of the technology fully through. Each one of these teams earned additional funding to further validate their ideas and continue R&D on their prototypes. They got acceptance and competed and completed high-profile incubator and accelerator programs, just like Media Lab. And they advanced to discussions with industry partners. Some formed company concepts, and others actually launched startups as well. So a little bit about our programming for the year and how this kind of leads up to our pitch challenge. We have basically a full year of programming, everything from ideation to prototype development. These are some examples of some of the major events that will be occurring like design thinking workshop, non-dilutive funding and dilutive funding primers, team mixers, and as you can see with the little money symbols along the way, we kind of intersperse our own programming around key activities as well. Our hackathon, which is I would say system-wide at Mount Sinai, is something that even externally, if you're not part of Mount Sinai, you can get involved in. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. And that has actually a cash prize at the end, assuming you win. MSIP will be running the Innovation Showcase and the Pitch Challenge this year, both of which will have cash prizes. And our Pitch Challenge is like any other Pitch Challenge. All the teams that end up into the program at the end will compete, pitch for a grand prize that's actually comparable to that of NYU's and Columbia's, current venture challenges. So the amount of money that's going to be going into that will actually get you from that late prototype stage into something hopefully an MVP range. This program is really meant to leverage, I would say, inventions that are in the emerging technology space that basically have low barriers to entry, just like using, digital applications, machine learning, VR technology. And throughout this process, we offer our office hours along the way, application and pitch preparation. So we hope that you'll enter our BD pipeline, disclose the technology, and we'll help you get into other incubator and accelerator programs, just like Media Lab and others that I showed before, to kind of help validate the process. Our office is very much into customer discovery. So we're very, basically, don't build it first and then see if the customer wants it. Ask the customer what they want first and then go build it. We're very much into that mantra here, and it's not just purely with just customers alone. We like making introductions to investors along the way, basically anyone who's going to be touching the product or the potential venture at any which point. So you kind of get feedback all along the way. We put our programming in such a way that it will fit nicely with that of the incubator programs, just like eLab New York City and Media Lab. So basically, you should be able to apply at the end of this fall for both those programs, and then still participate in our pitch challenge at the end, which typically is after those 2 demo days. And at the end of this process, we hope that everyone who participates ends up in with a late prototype of some sort, and that we can help take that essentially to market either as in an existing company or as a startup. So just a little bit more about Mount Sinai and emerging technologies. This past year, we have a partnership with Hasso-Plattner Institute, as well as the launch of the Hamilton Nambell James Center for Artificial Intelligence and Human Health. Existing initiatives were like our Institute for Next Generation Healthcare, which really leverages big data, machine learning, and precision medicine. A good example of what came out of that particular institute was Lab 100, which is a hybrid clinic that leverages traditional medicine and clinical practice with that of emerging technologies and precision medicine, and basically every kind of new gadget you can think of to maximize the clinic experience. And just the last shout out, and this is a great way to get involved into our pipeline early on. We are highly involved, in monitoring the kind of the outcomes of the hackathon every year. Most of the time, the hackathon winners actually end up in our innovation showcase and could potentially end up this year also in our pitch challenge. And this year's topic fits very nicely with Media Lab's kind of mantra as well, the artificial intelligence. specifically in esports, memory and mental agility, social connectivity, and professional performance. And this kind of fits, I think, well with the track that you guys are launching this year. That's a little bit more health related, and this might be a good first step in kind of starting to kind of tease out your idea in a hackathon setting amongst people, healthcare experts, biotechnology experts, and maybe start forming a team around that at our hackathon, which is October 11th through 13th this year. The winners and participants from this, many of which have gone to commercialize their technologies with Mount Sinai Innovation Partners. So if you're interested in learning more about the Pitch Challenge, we'll be sending to anyone on the registration list more information within the next week or two. But if you want some more immediate answers about the hackathon or anything else, please feel free to email me at dov.shamir@mssm.edu.